what happened at the end of the verse? They were promoted. And so in verse 3, Nebuchadnezzar decided, hey, I received a dream with a statue. The head represents my kingdom and it's gold. So you can see the statue, tooth and long. And that statue was 90 feet tall. Alright, how many of us have been to the NIC building? All of us? We know the building at NIC Waterfront, right? So that statue was taller than the NIC building. And imagine gold. A statue of gold. Why remember they went to Closer? But remember they went to Jerusalem and they took all the gold from the temple. I'm not saying that's what they used. But to me they had enough gold there to use. And so imagine, when we disobey God, what can happen to our possessions in the hand of men who are unrighteous. Right? So we need to be obedient to God. And so the king built this statue and he called all his officials, according to chapter 3, all his officials. He sent invitation, not to the poor people, but people with degrees and pedigrees. In verse 2 it says that then Nebuchadnezzar, the king of chapter 3, sent to gather together the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, and all the rulers of the province were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. They stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. And Nebuchadnezzar gave a command. When you hear the sound of the stringed instruments, the sound of the harp, you will bow down and you will worship the image. And so I can imagine, if you can, picture in your mind all these officials gathered in one location, including Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these men, when the music started playing, the jazz music, the reggae, the soca started playing, their hands went up into the air and they bowed their knees and their backs became parallel to the ground and they were like worshipping that image. And while that was happening, Yonde Nom from Babylon, you were that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego just do good life. They stood not worshipping the image because they worshipped a different God. Amen? The creator of heaven and earth. And so the account in chapter 3, these men went to Nebuchadnezzar and told him of these 3 Hebrew boys. They were not bowing and bending and worshipping the image. And so Nebuchadnezzar said, what? Call them to me. And then he told them, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, is it true you are not worshipping? Listen. Lift up the oven there for me, please. And he said, when you hear the music, I want you to bend and bow. And what happened? What did they say? O king, we are not careful to answer you in this matter. Nous pas même catching another council who discuss est-ce qu'il y a pour image salah. And so they stood tall, and Nebuchadnezzar ordered that the furnace be heated 7 times. And he told, the strong men to take these men, tie them up and take them and throw them in the oven. Charles a été tellement chaud, c'est nom là qui voit, c'est 3 ces noms là oven là, ils mort. And the Bible tells us that as that happened, Nebuchadnezzar rose up from his seat. And he said, est-ce qu'il y a 3 noms? But given him our cat, a beyond somebody. Verse 25 of chapter 3 says, and he answered and said, Lo, I see